All right. Well, welcome to part two. Obviously, we got cut off in part one. I probably should have just realized that we were going to get cut off and just said like, "Hey, stick around for part two." But anyways, I'm back here with Doug, and I don't think we're going to do three parts. I think this will be plenty. Uh, but anyways, I was rushing through that last thing. The injury stuff. I don't know if maybe I'll go back to that, and but I
Oh
think
yeah, the
we were
misery
pretty
and
much
yeah.
we were pretty much done with that. But all right, let me see. All right, so you see it?
Yep, I see it.
So I didn't have time to see what it is with Bryce Harper, why either I missorted or he is on the NA list. Right? I haven't heard anything like that, but
Bryce Harper? Oh, I don't know anything about him.
yeah, so that could have been I copy and pasted the Yahoo, play the hitters and pitchers, and then that IL thing is usually two or three rows below their name. So I copied those over, so that's disappointing to me if these if these aren't even right. But we'll see. And I remember that Texas catcher Sam Huff, big news there. But maybe it's true that Jonah Heim is on the NA squad because they just brought in Sam Huff. That's his name, right? Sam Huff, the catcher.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering why are they doing this? But maybe that's why. I don't know. But I
I
guess
mean, everybody gets hurt in April, March, April. The guys that aren't used to playing up in the north get hurt every year. So, even the guys that play in the north aren't used to it because baseball should not be played in March. That's just not a good month for baseball. And that's when you start spring training, like in high school days and shit, remember?
so.
All right.
This one makes sense. I mean, JD Martinez. I know he's in the minors, so that's an NA. That's right.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, Max Meyer. I don't know about Bryce, but Max Meyer makes sense. Jonah Heim. That I don't know. I don't have Matt Manning, Fairbanks. Now is Fairbanks NA? He's been pitching. So
maybe he came up for a spot start and they needed a roster slot and they sent it back down.
he's
That's
been their
been going on a lot.
closer. He's been
Yeah.
their closer, so I don't know. Skeens, that makes sense. So maybe some of these are right, or maybe they're all right. I don't know, but I wish I had noticed that it was Harper, because then I could have looked it up and verified it. But assuming these are right, you are the leader in IL, dollars. This is discretionary dollars, so that's the salary minus $1. And so you're at 126, Knockers 91, Zadi 82, Spear. Wait till next year. Let's play Hack, Cows, Gags, and then you can see the ones in the bottom are Satch with just Sean Murphy, and the dads don't have anybody. That I should say that it was Yahoo's preseason rankings, the top 600 in the Yahoo preseason rankings. Anybody who had a salary of $2 or more who was on the IL or NA. So doesn't mean that dads don't have anybody on the IL. Just
They just didn't have anyone that deserved to be on the IL or something like that.
Anyway, so maybe we'll put this one to bed because I'm not even 100% confident now. But I did, because we were talking about your team, I did bring up the history. So I'm going to share that now because I think that we should know when you won.
I mean, I actually won the beer league. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you've won 3 times. Yeah, I had shortchanged you. I said that you had won 2 times. You seeing this now?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 3. So that only puts you behind Chris with 6, Norm and Phil with 4. That's it. Those are the only ones. Those are the only active members, and maybe even inactive members that have won more times than you.
Chad's only got 1.
Chad's
I thought
got
he had
1.
2. Oh,
I remember too. It was 1999, and that might have been the year I wasn't in the league.
I know. I remember that that year. He like everything fell into piece for him. He was so happy. I never seen that guy so happy in his life. You know,
Yeah, I think
uh,
it was 99. 'Cause I don't know. I just remember.
was it the McGuire year when he had McGuire and he hit the 72, 71 bombs or whatever?
Yeah, so the only year he won, I wasn't in the league. So that's, maybe
Whoa.
Chad's gonna try to get me out of the league. So look at that. Yeah, 100 wins, 48 losses. Nice year, Chad. But let's look at the Doug years. So Doug, your first championship was 2001.
Oh, Millennium.
So you 98-56, and you were 2 games ahead of Norm, 96-58. I was 14 back. Who else is active? Anybody else active besides the three of us? Oh, Chris. Yeah, Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Chris was
73 and
23
76.
back. I know one of these years at the Beetle, he did his match thing where he just matched 4 guys. Yeah, this would make sense because that was under Bermersky's, you know,
Oh,
commissionership.
Bobrisky's, yeah, commissionership when you took your hiatus.
I got rid of that whole, matching limits. I just did. It was something else to keep track of, and I don't think it was necessary.
I don't know that everybody in the league remember. It might be a handful of us that actually remember the whole Bobrisky thing. You should like
Yeah, that's
send out.
2004. Oh, I think we've talked
That's,
about it enough. Oh, Chad, I skipped over Chad. Chad was in the league. He finished fourth. He was 12 back. So maybe 11 and a half back. But anyways. And then the
yeah, I
next
remember
year,
that. Wasn't that the draft at the Underbar that we did?
that was 2005. That was this year right here. Yeah. So how did Chad do? He finished 7th out of 9, having the auction during his shift. So,
Yeah.
guess it
Oh,
wasn't
poor
so
guy.
bad. But I don't know what I put numbers under here. Where are these things? I must have like copied some work and then left it there. All right. So, and then the next year you won was 2007, and it was quite a big year. 113 wins, 41 losses. You were what? How much? That's what, 19, 18 and a half up on Norm. So both
That was,
years you won so far, Norm finished second, right?
that was the year. That was the year my daughter was born, and and my son was like what, a year and a half, and I quit my job. I gave up my whole career and basically raised children for the next 15 years or so. And Jeff accused me of like have nothing better to do than look at baseball shit. And I was like, so at the time I was kind of irritated about it, just but it was funny as shit, Jeff. And I don't count it against your humor, your background. Um,
Well, if
but
it
yeah,
was Jeff started in 2007, so it was either his first year or more likely, if he knew you better, 2011, right? Because you
oh,
won.
that might have been it. Yeah, sorry.
But I think it's funny. The year that you won, your first one, 2001, Norm finished second, and then 2002, Norm finished first. You finished second,
Yeah.
and then
Well, we were really competitive, Norm and I back then. We were like, you know,
it goes on. In 2007, you won again. Norm finished second.
yeah.
All right, 2009, Norm won. You finished third. I finished second. So that broke the string. But look at 2011, you won. Norm finished second. So you guys are
That's crazy.
isn't that crazy? The 3 times that you won, Norm has finished second.
So I guess Norm, he needs to step it up a bit so I can do a little better. Although, I'll take where I'm at right now.
I forgot that Phil won 3 in a row. I just thought it was a repeat. He's won 3 in a row, and he's 21-0 now. That's, oh boy. That's something.
Yeah,
See,
I don't know how he does it.
Larkin
Honestly.
did back to back 2016 and 17, but this is a three-peat. Anyways,
5 Pete.
you and Norm, the 3 times you've won, Norris finished second, and then one of the years that he won, you finished second, and then another time he won, you finished third. So you guys are, you guys when it's like when one does well, the other does well, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, we were really competitive. Norm and I always, and in a good way, playing on the baseball team together and Dungeons and Dragons with Chad, and we're all competitive motherfuckers, We want to win. And this Phil guy comes along, wins man, hats off, right?
Yeah, I don't
So
know if you
then,
saw the email that I sent out today with the standings. It was my idea was to form a team of the rest of us besides Phil, and just use our best win-loss record for the week against Phil. So if we did that, we would be 18-3, and he'd be 21-0. So we'd still be 3 back, but we'd be a lot closer.
right?
So it's
Well,
Satch's Pigeons. That's going to be the new league. It's going to be Paging Dr. Satchel and then Satch's Pigeons. So we each have our own team still. Everything's going to be the same, except the standings will be tabulated differently. We'll use the best of the other 11 teams for that week, and then we'll see if we can beat Satch that way. So,
or you could go the other way and like have the opposite league where you have the most negative points. Oh man, well, it was a good time hanging out with you, Lou. How many more minutes we got going on here?
well, we got another. No, I don't know. I know we have a half hour probably left.
Oh, really?
We don't have to use the whole. We don't have to use the whole thing.
Okay. Hopefully you can edit that part out.
Yeah, if we had like 5 more minutes, like if it was 45 minutes instead of 40, we probably could have done it in that one part. But then when I didn't know how many times you'd won it, even I wanted to bring up the history because you've won it 3 times, so that shouldn't be glossed over, right?
I mean, yeah, but when I joined the league, was it 93, 92, 93,
Well, I've got that here, but maybe I won't share it.
94 maybe?
Your first year was. Your first year was. Well, I could share this, I guess. Where is it?
Yeah, I think there was the year where I drafted like 6 Hall of Famers or 5 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, you weren't in for the first few years. Where are you?
Right.
Were you in during the big year? Okay, 95 you're in.
Yeah, that makes sense because like Chad, he had gotten into it and I remember looking at his sheet. I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, nothing. It's just some numbers. I'm like, that's not numbers, Racket. I see baseball player names. What's going on here? And so he told me all about it. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get in. I got to get in. I love this. This is fucking crazy. Like I said, did that when I was a kid in my own head. And
This is the thing. The huge year when we had 22 teams. That was my first and only championship for tons of years.
yeah.
You weren't in it, so this was the year I think that you got some problems with the tower, right? Right? Because
Could
you were in
be.
it 95 and you were in it again in 97, our first
Yeah.
function, but you didn't come that. I think you were in it this year. Where are you? Oh, Doug and Jeff. Okay, you were Doug and Jeff.
Oh yeah, the Doug and Jeff years. He always wanted to pick Reds guys all the time. So I'm like, all right, you gotta get a red, gotta get a red. But I didn't care about that. I didn't have to have a Cub or a White Sox on my team. I'm just like one of the best player. Yeah, so it just drive me nuts. And I'm like, I can't have a partner. That's when I knew I couldn't have a partner. You gotta pick your
Yeah.
own guys.
So you came in 95 by yourself. 96,
Yeah.
you weren't in it, and then 97,
Yeah. That was the year.
98, 97, 98, you were Doug and Jeff, and then 99, you were just Doug again.
Hmm.
And that's been that way since. So
And then look at that. 3rd place. The second year after I was just Doug. Should have started that.
So you can see you've been in it behind. You're third behind me and Chad for most seasons. You've had 28 seasons. Hopefully these are right. Yeah, 33 seasons. Have we had 33? Yeah, that makes sense. So me and Chad both missed a year. I forgot what year he missed, and I missed 99. Do you remember what year Chad would have missed? Early 2000s, when like he was in England, maybe? I can't remember.
Maybe. I mean, that would have been 90s though. 'Cause he went to England in it was like 91, 90.
Well, yeah, the league didn't start till 91, so it must have been one of these years. Let's see. Chad. Oh, I got a better one I can look at. I can look at this one. This is by team. It's pretty tiny, right? You probably can't see much. But this goes by year. We can see which year Chad missed. I'll just go to the left here. 2004, everybody missed because that's the B.E.E.R year. So we only know that Norm won.
Right.
That Norm
I
actually
think I got second that year, man.
Norm actually finished second, and B.E.E.R got first, but I wasn't.
No, but I think I was in third.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, maybe.
So I think I would have been in like by default second.
We didn't have the records because of him, and luckily we split the commish duties, and I handled the money. So I didn't give him the first place money. I sent him second place money, and he was fine with that. He never complained about it, but it was shitty. He probably would have
Yeah.
finished second. So it wasn't just punitive. I mean, he was really logical. Oh, so Chad was in 91, and then he wasn't in 92. So you were right. It was very early on when he missed a year. So he missed 92. I missed 99. So that's why we've been around for 33 years, even though Chad and I were both in the first year, just like Sean. That's a good trick.
So that's funny. We all three of us have missed one draft.
Yeah. And Sean was in there the first year, but he missed how many seasons did he miss? He missed like 17 seasons. So
Yeah.
so Sean will probably hold the record for most seasons missed and then coming back in the league, So
That's pretty cool, man. Look at that. Boo Chad Doug. Chris Larkin. I remember the first day I met Chris Larkin.
actually, yeah, Larkin's been in as many seasons as you. You were a year before him, but you missed the year. So yeah, he's been
Yeah.
in the 8 seasons now. I didn't realize that. I
Yeah,
guess I
I
should have.
remember.
Yeah, he got in when I had the store still. And Norm came in the first year that we had the auction in 97. So he's been in 27 years. That's a long time. Steiger has been around since 2002.
Steiger.
That's 22 years now. Even Jeff, who in my mind is like, oh, he's one of the newer guys. He's been around. This is 17 years, 17 seasons.
Yeah.
Paul's 14 seasons. Even Phil
Phil.
is 11 seasons. I mean, I guess that's not very many when you consider that he's won 4 times. That's not
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
so. And then even
Kimler.
4, and then we've got
Yeah.
a new guy. I'll have a new column right here for Mike. His first year this year. So, I already wrote it down here. Sean missed 17. So I have where the auction took place.
Oh yeah.
Where I stayed. That's
Yeah.
probably not as interesting to other people, but so we were at my place in DeKalb the first year. The second year, a different place, but still DeKalb.
I was at the Beloit Avenue Forest Park.
Yeah, 93 through 95.
Yeah, I was at one of those, and I remember the Wrigley Tap drafts.
This one I've got video from 95. That was the year
Yeah.
that we.
I remember that. We all
baseball
stood in front of the mic.
was
said,
resolving the strikes, and we couldn't plan it ahead of time. But we got it in pretty quick after they resolved it. And then Wrigleyville Tap was just 2 years, the first year of the auction. And then
that was when you had the baseball card shop across the street.
Yep. Well, it was sports books and magazines.
Sports books and magazines.
Just sports books and magazines. So Black Beetle, I have here that it was 98, and then again in 2000 and 2001.
Yeah, I remember that one. Oh my God, that girl that was the bartender. She was like half in the bag an hour into our draft. Remember that? And she was just giving us shit.
I don't remember.
Oh my God, she was hilarious. Total ringer. Think you can thank Chad for that.
And then this is the year I missed. So I've heard it was at Dave Mersky's apartment in the northwest suburbs, but I don't know where. And then there was a year, there's pictures of you. I remember there's pictures of you there like drinking from a red
I remember
full
at Bill's house. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
I think that it was 2002, but I'm it's not 100% sure. And then Hottie Biscotti, we had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That must have been your influence because I think you guys used to play there, right?
Yeah, the Dan Whitaker country band. We play there all the time, and we had
Yeah.
it in with the bartender Dustin and another guy, and yeah, so there was like a comfortable scene. So
And then
Underbar.
Underbar,
Oh,
that was the
your Chad had
regroup.
to work for his draft.
That was where we threw all the players back. We didn't have sufficient records because Bremerski had all that stuff. So we just drafted from scratch, auctioned from scratch, and
It, it worked out really good for me, man. I had a really good team for like 3 years.
I think we started early dinner time, let's say 5 p.m., and we finished, midnight or whatever it was. That wasn't so bad considering.
Unless you were Chad. And he had to close up the joint and all that shit.
I think his shift ended, but maybe he still had to do some closing duties.
Yeah, I
I
think
could
he
be
did,
wrong.
probably.
Chad would know better.
Lemmings, yes, we had some good drafts.
We had it at Lemmings for many years, right? I mean, that's
Long time, yeah, those were good
that's
drafts.
9 auctions, right?
Yeah, I want to say that the worst year was the St. Patrick's Day draft day.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
That's why we would never do it on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Now we can't do it because Jeff and people that are working. That's just not a good weekend to miss, right? So
Right. I mean, that's if you're in the industry, you're working St. Patrick's Day.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
And we had it at DC's a couple of years,
Yeah, those are nice.
and
With
then
the
we had it at
guitars.
D-Men for 3 years.
Yeah, Demon
Little,
Tap.
little did we know that when we had it that auction the third year in a row at D-Men Tap that we wouldn't actually have an in-person auction for a few years.
Right.
So it wasn't
COVID.
until last year that we had mostly a full group. You weren't there, and Sean wasn't there.
Right.
But so we had 9 of us, right? Because DC was dropped out before then, so I think there was 9 of us there. And then this year, I mean, we had 10 of us there, and Sean and Steiger weren't there. Steiger wasn't there in 2023, was he? Maybe there was just 8 of us there. He must not have been there.
Yeah, I mean, he might have phoned it in again.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, I mean, he did it by Zoom, but yeah. So I was wrong. So 2023, we had 8 people there, and then last year we had 10. So
Yeah.
maybe in 2025 we'll have everybody back. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
These asterisks are what the bar is called now. I think I looked all this up. Regular Little Tap is now Full Shilling Public House. Is that how you spell shilling? Is there a C in shilling or no? No. And the Black Beetle is now the Beetle Bar and Grill, and Hottie Biscotti is now the Double Urban Tavern. Are these accurate? Am I right?
I don't know. I've been there in like 10 years after. So 13, 15, 17 years.
I'm glad I wrote these down because there's no way I would remember this stuff now. So it's just good to write it down when I still could piece it together. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure that these are all correct, but especially these years, like the 98 through 2002, a little iffy.
I remember hanging out with you at your College Avenue apartment in DeKalb, and your what was the Velvet Underground poster you had?
I don't think I had a velvet. I don't think I had a velvet poster.
You did. It was Aaron and I and you and somebody else. I think we're just hanging out and you're listening to music, and
maybe it was like when I had a boarding house room, and it was like the room that had it was like a famous room. It had all these like posters on the wall from like the 60s and 70s, like bands and stuff like that. It was like the entire wall and ceiling, but they weren't mine. So that's because I'm thinking if it was velvet, it wouldn't have been me. I didn't have anything like that. It was Blondie or something maybe, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any Velvet Underground.
Oh, those were the days though, man. Could you imagine going back to that again? Redoing that, I'd redo
I don't even know if I would.
that. Yeah,
I
well.
had a dream years ago that I was back in Syracuse, and it was like 1986, and it was a weekend night, like a Saturday night, and I was with this large group of people, and we were walking to a party, and I was the only person that realized that like I was from the future, like I was back in time or something. It was really fun. I didn't want to wake up, and I couldn't keep it. I woke up, but one of the people in the dream was a guy I played in a band with, and he died in 2000. He had cancer,
Hmm.
and it was just I just was having a blast. But the whole time I knew that I was back in time. It was I don't usually dream like that, but it was really strange, and I was really disappointed that I couldn't keep it going because I was having fun, like it was great.
Right, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, those dreams don't last very long, unfortunately. Like when you're having fun, it's so the only ones where you're not having any fun and it's horrifying that last forever.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would be fun to go back for a night or two or something maybe, but I wouldn't want to go
Yeah.
through the whole thing again. You know what I mean? Like,
No, no, I don't want to redo. I'm just like those were some fun times. That's all I
it
can
would be
say.
nice to to look better when I do that, like it'd be kind of nice,
Yeah, some long hair and hair that doesn't grow on your face all the time.
Yeah, you had the really nice blonde locks back then. You had the long hair, right?
I did, yeah, long the hair. I did. I just didn't cut it anymore. And I couldn't grow beard on my face at all. It's like I'd try and it would just be this horrible thing. Like I'd get a Neapolitan ice cream thing with a brown here and red here and a little vanilla, you know. I'm like, really? That's what I get? Neapolitan ice cream beard?
My beard is so gray now, but I remember when I used to when I had my hair was dark, and I had this like it was my beard was like red. It was like I was a redhead or at least a blonde guy. It was funny. But now you
Well,
can't really tell because it's just kind of white.
yeah. Well, yeah, you always had a nice head of hair back in the day, man. It was like you had the pompadour going.
I didn't know
You had stuff.
I didn't know I was going to lose my hair. I remember combing my
Yeah.
hair. I don't know when I was 30, early 30s, and I remember like I could see in the mirror. I was like, "Hey, what is why?" It's like it's like my part is more accentuated back there, something like that. I was so stupid. I didn't realize what was going on. It's just like
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!" That was the last thing I didn't think I was my hair. My
Yeah,
dad
no,
would
I,
lose
I
his
mean
hair.
my forehead's definitely gone backwards. I still got a little bit on the back, but missing some in the patch. But
Yeah.
hey, these are minor victories, right? The survival, those are the major victories.
But
And
yeah,
winning beer
that would have been
championship.
nice to go back and be able to have like the full head of hair again. That was nice.
Yeah,
I forgot what that's like. So
yeah. I look at Chad. I'm like, oh, he's always been a Widow's Peak guy, but the Widow's Peak never went away. He never got lost. Like his hair didn't go backwards at all. It's like, wow, those are some good genetics.
he's like still got
Oh, he's still got a ton of
original
hair.
hairline. Wow.
He's hair boy, for sure.
Yeah, if he had started to lose his hair, maybe he would have gone for the short haircut, and that would be so weird to like see Chad with the. When's the last time you saw him with short hair? I can't even remember.
Oh, I can remember that was like 1990 or 89. He was playing with Circle One in my backyard in my apartment. And I didn't even know about it. I was off doing stuff and I come back and there's a rock band playing in my backyard. And there's Alex DeForest and Chad Troutman and Jim Willie. And I'm sorry if I can't remember the fourth person in
What
the
street
band.
was that? Where did you live? Do you remember the address?
Yeah, DeKalb Avenue. They call it the ghetto. It's back there over by
Oh, okay.
Tom.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And Mike Sims lived next door with Dan Clayton. Uh, And anyway, so I think they were actually playing at Clayton's house, and I was going over there and checking out. And I think who else was there? I don't think Rick was playing that day. I might have met Rick, but
Rick Lathrop?
yeah, later. But yeah, it was fun. It's cool meeting those guys.
I don't remember meeting like you and Chad, but I mean, it just sort of rolled along there. I don't remember like the meeting, like the first time or something like that. But I do remember
I,
I hung out
I
with.
remember the first night I hung out with you when I met you. I think that was at College Avenue party, and me and Aaron came up to your apartment and we smoked some grass and listened to some music. And
You're thinking you're. I don't. I didn't. I haven't. I would not smoke pot. So you're thinking of somebody else. You're getting me
well,
confused.
no, well, you might not have smoked pot, but you were definitely there, and it was definitely your place. But it was me and Aaron. We were hanging out in your apartment.
God, I think I would remember that. Because Aaron, I would definitely remember that. I don't. I don't think so. I don't think it was me.
Mm.
I'd remember that. I mean, it's possible, but because I did drink quite a bit back then. So I don't know. So I don't know, but I think I'd remember. I don't know.
Well, we'll see you when we do our replay in heaven, right? Like, yeah, see, Lou, he was at your place
Oh
with
my
Aaron.
god, I totally forgot about that. So,
But anyway, it was fun doing the thing.
yeah, you got any last thoughts on how the beer league's shaping up this year? I know you had a lot of injuries. Looks like you're holding your own pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, right now the injuries are, they piled up and they've done their damage, but I've made some pretty good choices, I think, and so we just keep fighting it out until the end. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, as Chad
Yeah.
Troutman would like to say.
I think like the more years I've done the league, like I used to get very, I don't know, I'd get upset if like I lost a player to injury, and now I just realize it's just all part of it. And if you have a year where you don't have any injuries, well, just be thankful because that's unusual, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that never had. That's the not the norm, right? The norm is you suffer catastrophic injuries, and
yeah,
the exception is that you never have any injuries, right?
yeah,
You expect that you're going to lose somebody that's really important every year, and you don't want it to happen. And you're like, rah, 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 rah. But it always fucking happens.
yeah. I mean, now I don't. I just consider it part of my drafting or my auctioning that year. Like
Right.
it's I guess it's random and luck based, but I also consider it like, hey, that's what I paid for. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of volatility. Baseball is a dangerous sport. Injuries can happen any day of the week, at any moment, and anybody. I mean, like just a minor twist. Oh, my hip. Oh, my knee. My labrum. It's just like it really doesn't
You,
take much.
you
I
say
mean,
that you didn't say that you have Alvarez, do you?
I'm sorry.
You don't have Alvarez, right? Francisco Alvarez. Who was I talking to?
I had him in my NL
Oh,
wrote.
okay. So you mentioned that earlier. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who has him in the beer league. Do you remember?
No, not
He's got a
offhand.
thumb. He's got surgery on his thumb.
It's
He's
not
gonna be
good.
out for a couple months. I don't know.
Freak injury. That's not cool.
He injured it, and then he was coming around first, and I don't know. It was like a bad throw, so he was going to second, and he steadied himself. He was going to the ground, and he steadied himself with that hand, that thumb. So you could see him
Yeah.
grimace after he did that. Not good. Not good.
Yeah. Those things happen. What are you gonna do? But baseball, freakish baseball injuries. I've had so many. I've actually, I think I told you I took a baseball off the chin before. I've run into a fence and hit my face on the pole on the chain link. You know,
Better you than me.
yeah.
All right, Doug. Well, thanks for coming on with me, and I guess, we'll have you back later in the year when Jeff's got his nice deluxe account. We don't even have to worry about the time.
All right. Yeah, it was a pleasure, my friend. You have yourself a good night, and until next time, good luck in the beer league.
Okay.
All right. See ya, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.